At my first IEP meeting, I was shaky and sweating bullets. I can talk to students all day long, but adults with paperwork, legal paperwork, I clammed up and sped through everything. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. Hi, I'm Anna from Anna Kelly's Creations. Let's make progress monitoring quick, goal writing easier, and your to-do list a little shorter. Grab your favorite bubbly drink and let's dive in. That first IEP meeting, I barely spoke. Everyone else seemed confident and I felt like I was playing dress up with my teacher badge. I skipped things I wanted to say, spoke way too fast, and walked out wondering if I even belonged in the room. I went straight home and called my mom. But here's what I've learned. You do belong, and it's okay to learn as you go. These are things that I wish someone had told me before my first IEP meeting. To start off, you belong in that room. Even if you're brand new, your voice matters. You know the student in other ways others may not. You're not just filling a chair, you're part of the team. Speak up, ask questions, and say things like, here's what I've observed. If you're comfortable, one idea is to open up and tell them that it is your first IEP meeting. That honesty builds trust. Second thing, read the IEP like a story, not a checklist. You don't have to sit there and read the whole document word for word. Especially if a draft was already sent home. For many parents, this isn't their first IEP meeting. Focus on the heart of it. What are your goals? What are the services? What progress? And pause often to ask if they have questions or anything they'd like to add. Make it more of a conversation rather than sitting and reading a document. We all remember sitting in those college courses and PDs where they literally just read from the slides. We don't need to do that. Make it a story. Make sure it's not the first time that they've heard from you. Ideally, the IEP meeting isn't your first contact with the family. Reach out early in the year with a note or an email or even a phone call just to say hi and introduce yourself. And that way the meeting feels more like a check-in than a surprise. The next piece of advice is to prepare with the student. I like to spend extra time with that student that week before their meeting, observing, chatting, jotting down anything special I notice. I try to think back of any memories or anecdotes I can recall. Parents and guardians love hearing about their child's day from the school point of view. At least have something positive written to start the meeting with. Also, bring the data. Have concrete examples that show how the student is doing. I like to bring work samples and graphs I have. They love seeing what they're doing at school because they might not always get to hear it at home. That's the backbone of a strong IEP, and it gives everyone clarity when setting goals. Ask for help before the meeting. You do not have to figure it out all on your own. Ask a mentor teacher to review your draft. Better yet, do a mock meeting with a coworker or two and practice. Getting feedback before the real thing can make a huge difference. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. My next piece of advice is to watch the parents, not just the paper. Don't forget to make eye contact. Don't get caught up in saying the right thing or reading from the paper. Make eye contact, slow down, share a positive story or a small moment. It breaks the ice and shows them you really care. And again, bring the data. Show how their child is growing. They love to see the data. And one last thing, it really does get easier. Trust me. Every meeting will build your confidence. Every mistake will teach you something new. And every student you support will make it all worth it. You've got this and you're not alone. If this helped, drop a comment below or tell me what questions you still have. I'd love to help. And I'm sure others would too. And if you want some ready-to-use forms and checklists that make prep easier, I linked my blog post below. It's full of things I wish I had back then. And remember, you're doing better than you think. Keep going, and I'll see you next time.